So I wrote down like another note or just like a little thought, an idea, a hot flash of brilliance that I thought of in my head. I wrote it down on my phone and I don't know, I just wanted you guys to take it on board. Um the idea is that finances are fleeting. So use your personality because it compounds. And I can give you like an example. Um I've been speaking to a few chicks, off of dating apps. I'm sure you guys use dating apps as well, or at least have had some experience with them if you don't use them anymore. But I'm still using them and regularly, whilst I'm doing my things just in my daily life. And I'll open some apps, check my matches, my likes, whatnot, DMs, like messages that I've sent or received. And I'll be going back and forth with a few chicks, right? And so the way I see it is that obviously every like woman is their own individual because they're all different people, right? A lot of women are pretty similar, like in the way they behave, the interests they have, even the way they look. I feel like more than men, but that's a little bit off topic. I might speak about that in like another video or something. But yeah, everyone's still their own person, so it's like, but the way I see it is I'm on dating apps for like networking, just making friends really. Because even if it doesn't go anywhere, it's like I can benefit from it, can tell them I do content, maybe they'll check it out, support it, share it. Um, because at the end of the day, that just boosts like, pretty much they're paying me time and attention, right? And that which converts into money, if I can monetize it. So um yeah. That's kind of like my strategy, but at the end of the day there's still like a level of like, okay, I want to take this further. Like it could go further, after we chat for a while and whatnot. So I'm going back and forth with a few chicks now. And I'm like realizing that maybe after a few chats, like few messages back and forth, few different combos over the course of a few days up to a week or months, like you really start to see like the true personality or and character of someone over this amount of time. If you're being attentive and you also kind of like doing the things to bring out their character. So what do I mean by that? Like doing things, like having things, doing things in a way that you like trigger their inner self, to be released and to be exposed. I mean, like uh, asking questions, paying attention, literally. Like in some of these conversations, I'll just be asking questions like, are you spiritual or religious? What type, and if you are, like, what specific beliefs do you hold? Like, um, what's your plans for the future? Like, how did you learn from your mistakes in the past to become the person you are today? What do you do for work? These types of things like, oh, I make content or I work a 9 to 5 job, whatever the case is, right? But just being like, uh, how did your prior relationships kind of go? These type of things like asking like general, like regular type of questions. I say regular, I feel like most people don't really ask these from the jump. They kind of just jump around and be like, what's your favorite color and stuff like that. And I think that's like a waste of time. And it's like that's stuff you can find out later. I feel like it's better to get the most important mature stuff kind of like out the way. Because again, and I do this on purpose because I want to get into the brain of the person, like the psychology, the way they think, just kind of like attracted to them, like using sapiosexuality to like, to see like what they're truly about, you know what I mean? And each person is different, they respond to it different. So like been seeing the responses over a couple of days, and I can see how do I put this? um After a few days, maybe some chicks will kind of ignore me, leave me on an open-ended question or statement or something, because they feel irritated, they feel kind of like, I guess in their minds they feel kind of like pressured, that I'm someone who's so attentive like that. And in a genuine way where like I'm actually asking questions that's relative to like their personality and what they're putting on, what they're displaying in the marketplace, right? The way they promote themselves. I might make a comment or something like that, or a statement or a question based off of like the information they put out there. And it's like, now for some reason they offended that I'm actually being specific about what it is that they've, marketed themselves as, which is weird, but yeah. And then there's also, on a like a more positive note, I guess there's also been some responses that I've gotten like where chicks are more positive and they kind of just like being, I guess more feminine, right? I guess they're already feeling me, so it's kind of like they have that intuitive side to a certain degree as well, and they on board with it. They're on board with it. They don't feel any type of like disrespect or anything like that, or feel pressured. They're kind of just comfortable within themselves, comfortable enough to answer the question, um um and it mostly, and then for the most part, in an honest way. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, um most women, you'll find is that like if you're asking them a question, they either go and if they answer, it's most likely going to be true, right? Not all the time, but most likely it's going to be true. Because if they don't want to tell you the truth, or they just, they don't want to answer, like they won't answer the question if they don't want to tell you the truth. They ain't even going to lie to you, because if they open their mouth, it's kind of like, yeah, it's prompting them to say the truth, really. Because it's kind of just hard to lie like that. It's kind of like you have to fight yourself in order to lie. So it's like, I might as well just not say anything. And then it's like, well, okay, fine. Then obviously it's clearly something going on with that person. Um, it's best that they just remove themselves from my life anyway. They made everything that I got going on easier. I don't feel a way getting ghosted. It's like, okay, there's obviously no interest then. If it was interest, there would be uh rebuttal. You know what I mean? Um, so, and it's like, yeah, I just lead with my personality. You like, because basically this video is about like, as I said earlier, like, you hear this message online, and I've been hearing it for since I was a kid, like for the last 5 years, really growing up, um, from teenage, like adolescence. And it's like these guys, especially post pandemic. I know most of you, most of you can relate. You'll hear like, guys, quote unquote, like, I don't know, I don't even want to use the corny terms, but um, just men on the internet, like kind of ranting and rambling about, oh, how you need money, how you need money, how you need money to deal with women. And if you don't have any, if you ain't got this much, a specific amount, then you can't deal with women yet. And it's like, no, like it's better to deal with women when you're broke. You know, you do what you can do. If you have a phone, like you have Wi-Fi connection to the internet, then you have access to a global marketplace that, generations prior to ourselves, never had access to. I know my parents didn't when they was growing up, and now they have access to it now. And so some people are adapting and some are not, and they're just stuck in their ways. And it's like, if you're single, you're an older person, you're single, you're like middle-aged, say you're in your 50s or something, stepping into like the final phase of your life. You want someone, you want like a long-term partner, you got to go online. you know the in-person stuff is kind of like, may still work for you, because if you're from that generation, it's kind of like that was like it was really the only method that you could only have access to people you was around in your city and whatnot. So you was just like, yeah, like, I'm gonna give this person a chance, because there's not really many people that I have to my disposal. But when you're on the internet, you have access to the whole world, so you can filter through a lot more options. You know what I mean? Even as a man, it's like, okay, men don't get as many options as women, but it's like, if you put in the work as a man, like, and you just put your best self forward all the time and improve yourself whilst putting your best self forward, you'll see your options increase. You know what I mean? You got to treat this like it's a sport. Essentially, it's a numbers game. If you don't play by the numbers, you're more likely to lose. It's as simple as that. Because it's like, you got 100, if you got 100 women interested in you, that's 10 potential wifey candidates. And about a dozen of them are just for fun, but 10 potential wifey candidates. You got 10 women interested in you. There's maybe one potential wifey candidate. So you're just not really, you know, it's not really efficient if you're just gonna be like, oh yeah, I'll just deal with a select group of people or anything like this, whether it's on a racial level or anything like this. I feel like, nah, man, just get to know individuals and people, you know, and just be constantly improving. Lead with your personality. Don't lead with your wallet. Lead with your interest. Like I have something simple in my bios like Mr. Extraterrestrial. And it's like, as soon as a woman looks at that, she's like, wow, like, what does that even mean? What does that word mean? Now I have to Google that before I even message him. It's like, you know, it's like, but by the time they've done that, they invested in you. Now they've seen what the word means. Maybe they don't even fully understand it because they're just looking at the meaning for the first time. And it's like, they might, I don't know, then ask you what the meaning of that is, or like, I got something like where it's like on the about me section, it's something like I like listening to R&B, I like working out, and I like taking walks in the park and stuff like with ice cream, and it's like it's short but sweet, you know, like you know what I'm about, but it didn't take long for you to understand what I'm about, but um yeah, just the standard really. I feel like, although sometimes I say just the standard ain't the standard, because some other guys, they just lead them with like lustful intentions, or like they just lead them with lust, or they lead them with money. And I'm just kind of here to say like, um the money, that money stuff runs out. I mean, you can earn money, but you spend it. You earn and you spend it. Whereas personality, it just compounds over time. Like the older you get, you should see yourself becoming more of like a refined wine, right? So you may be like, oh, I'm getting older and I see my skin cracking, and my face sagging, or whatever the case may be. But it's like, yeah, but you got way more personality now. You got way more to talk about, you know? You understand the world more. So use that to your advantage. And if you got the best of both, obviously that's gonna get you like more results, right? Um, but just don't lead with money, because it's a slippery slope, and it's never gonna, you lead with money the first time, you're never not gonna be able to lead with money. You lead with personality, and yeah, you like, it's also, I guess you're never not going to be able to lead with personality, but that's okay, because I mean, we're all developing our personalities every day. I'll say that much. Whereas money, it comes and goes. I mean, yeah, you can be developing your money, but you don't really kind of have control over that. You know, your personality, you have control, because you have control over what you consume. You have control over how you operate within your day personally as a human being. And so you got to use that. That's what's going to keep people around. That's what's going to keep people invested. That's what's going to keep, skills and things like this, interest. That's when you can teach someone something, man or woman. You can do it with them, like interact with them. Like I like to sing, so it's like I got a singing channel and stuff, where I do covers. So it's like, yeah, women, they love it when they can find out like, oh, I can sing. Like that's something I can follow, subscribe to, and watch him grow with over the years, and maybe I can experience that for myself in real life, at some point. So it's like, just start doing more, bro. And do you, most importantly.